Hi everyone, today is a brand new day, which means a brand new video reaction. Today we're going to react to MoreParz. I've reacted to a bunch of videos of them. If you haven't watched it yet, I suggest you do. Yeah, let's go.
Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about for dinosaurs. Then it's gonna be like very teeny tiny crocodile. I mean, crocodiles aren't tiny, but still.
I am dead serious, and I cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile, a species native to the land down under, and shocking absolutely no one. Yes, it can and will eat you.
Ooh,
You see, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting
I don't
to go
really
extinct
like
thing,
crocodiles.
The salty stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size.
Oh, I don't want to see
Salties
it.
are the largest reptile on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos.
Now was like, I don't know how old I was, but I went to like this zoo thingy or like an exhibition from a school trip, and they showed us like, I don't know what it's called, like a model of like how big the biggest crocodile ever existed, or I don't know, or ever existed in my country, the Philippines. And if I see one like that in my real life, I would probably just pass out from the panic, okay? Instead of running, I would just pass out. Like,
Which
that's the
makes
thing.
this murder lizard genuinely longer than my car. And the
Say!
f***ed up part is that despite being longer than my ute, they are for some reason absolute masters of stealth.
Ooh.
You see, crocs are ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying
Oh,
they
yeah,
are dirty
that is true.
campers. You see, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top of their heads, which means they can submerge their Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult
As
to
a
see,
Happy
which
Meal.
makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and, yeah, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press they call a mouth.
That's why I love
Well,
Nestle Crunch.
That's right, just like any good camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of one of the highest bite forces of any animal on the f***ing planet.
because these crocodiles, they walk so slow and they walk in like a kind of like a sneaky way. Before I used to think like, yeah, I don't think this can bite me at all if I'm quite a bit far. Turns out they can literally lunge at you. So yeah, don't be too confident about the crocodiles, even if you think they are quite far from you or
They've been
anything.
recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws. To put that into context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc would pop your head like a watermelon. And if you don't immediately get folded by the first bite, those jaws will latch onto you as the croc begins a death roll, spinning its ton of body weight like a washing machine until whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals.
Oh god.
But the best thing about the crocodile
This is why
is their
crocodiles
build
freak me
is
out.
so f***ing good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years. Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun.
I mean, and this is a local in Australia. Like, there's a lot of this in Australia. This is why I don't know what is not wrong in Australia, because how come the people there, how come the Australians are not freaking out? Because there's so many animals that are all like venomous, poisonous, or something that can bite you or strangle you and everything. Every category, it's in Australia, bro.
Rest in peace, you absolute f***ing legend. Koalas are really dumb. In fact, Australia
Aw, koalas are so cute. I remember I had a picture when I went to the zoo hugging a koala or like sitting beside a koala. They're so cute and fuzzy though.
Australia's fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest thing on the planet. And that
Well-
stupidity starts with their diet, because of all the things
To be fair, I thought the dumbest one would be a panda. But let's see if it's a
they
koala.
could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat nothing
Haha,
but
so
straight up
cute.
poison. You see, koalas feed exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic, because they are full to the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous that as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the afterlife, with the Reaper asking you why
Well-
the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf.
Why?
Oh, it's also
Koalas,
highly flammable
no.
and burns like napalm, because Australia.
Well,
Now, despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the
They
koala.
still do
because he
eat.
can't fucking read. This suboptimal
Well-
bulking diet not only gives the koala all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning
Oh.
they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order to just digest their
Oh.
fucking food. These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is
well, 18 hours of sleep. Damn, that must be
However,
nice.
if they even get to the food to begin with, because they
It's so
are so
cute, look.
mind-numbingly brain dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the
Well,
branch. I could give this
no
dumbass
IQ,
a
I
lifetime
guess.
supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death. It should come as no surprise to you at this point that the koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain. The thoughts slide
What?
right off of this dumb c***.
Wait, are you serious? Not a single fold in that brain. I think that is the charm of the koalas, though. To be fair, that's their charm, that they are pretty dumb.
I love him. Australia has just found zombified bugs.
Bug.
That's right, we are closer
Ugh.
to the Walking Dead Down Under than you think. You see, just recently,
I
a
don't like
scientist by the
bugs.
name of Dr. Francois Brassard made a trek out to the remote savannah of the Northern Territory with the goal of finding and cataloguing brand new species of insect unknown to science. I mean, me personally, I think we've found more than enough bugs, especially considering that half of them can send me directly into the fucking soil. But what
Well,
do I know, right?
that
Anyway,
is
on his
true.
trip
Based on everything I've learned about Australia, I just know that that is 100% true.
middle of f***ing nowhere, he stumbled across a colony of spiny savanna ants, which is a
What?
pretty normal thing to find out there. However, getting closer, he noticed something a little off. You see, the main ant colony was fine, completely normal.
Okay.
However, the several disfigured and deformed ant corpses clamped onto
Whoa.
shoots of grass surrounding the colony like a Bug's Life version of Vlad the
What?
Inhaler. Yeah, those were significantly less normal. Brassard, mildly unsettled by the ant gore on his timeline, took samples
Well-
for inspection and upon getting a closer look, realised something both really cool and really spooky. The ants had been overtaken by fungus.
Big old red
Ooh.
More accurately, a previously
Yuck.
unknown strain of the cordyceps fungus, infamous around the globe for its ability to create zombie bugs. And the way it does it is unbelievably horrific. You see, it begins with a spore landing on an ant and producing a thin rope-like strand that penetrates and attaches to their exoskeleton. At which point, the ant gets a little timer on his hotbar, counting down to a family reunion with his ancestors. Once inside, the fungus begins to take control of the ant's body and brain
Oh,
function,
God.
completely changing their behavior, replacing their colony-focused mindset with one single goal: climb. Its fungus-riddled mind
Climb.
drags its rapidly
To
deteriorating
what?
body to the
Where?
closest high point, which is usually a plant, with its final act being to clamp its mandibles onto the stem in a death grip, finally
Ugh, that
succumbing
looks
to
so
the
gross
infection
now.
and being completely
Can't look.
consumed. Its corpse blossoming into a fully grown cordyceps fungus and raining down spores onto the rest of the colony to continue the cycle of infection.
Oh,
Now look,
no
I know
walking
this
ant.
fungus is found elsewhere in the world, but it's a new strain and it was found in Australia. With my luck,
Of
I'm going to be
course.
playing The Last of Us against couch-sized spiders within the fucking week. This jellyfish is basically a
Okay,
time bomb.
jellyfish.
Introducing the Irukandji, a species of jellyfish native to the northern waters of the land down under, and possibly my least favourite animal in the entire ocean. Because
I mean, to be fair, I am low-key afraid of jellyfish. No, not low-key. I mean, high-key probably. Because they are so transparent that you don't even know when they are gonna sneak up on you randomly or something. Like, are they just gonna ninja you out and just cut you down or something? Like, you know, that type of fear.
it is just a massive, spiteful Well, massive is misleading, because this little guy is tiny. I mean, ridiculously small. Being not much bigger than your fingernail at the head and basically complete.
Oh, wait. Is that real? That small? And then it's dangerous. Wow. What a great recipe to get yourself chucked out of this world. Yeah. Let's go, Australia. Yeah. Thank you.
F***ing invisible to the naked eye. This is a fairly major problem, because behind that halo cloak frame they are dragging 3-foot-long tentacles and shocking absolutely no one.
Say the line, Bart.
It is one of the most venomous jellyfish in the ocean.
Yay!
I'm so f***ing tired of the stealth poison multiclasses on OCE servers, dude. This shit is broken. You see, those 3-foot tentacles are covered with tiny little barbs, and at the barest touch, they will literally propel themselves into your skin like a bullet
What?
and inject you with the Australia Special, a pina colada cocktail of various neurotoxins. And
A pina colada to heaven, I guess.
upon being injected, you will feel absolutely f***ing nothing. You'll keep swimming around, splashing about in the water, kissing the homies, until you are
Yeah.
overcome with a sudden, severe feeling of impending dread. I mean, the
W- I guess that's the worst feeling that you can ever have. Like, you get stung by a jellyfish, then the first feeling that you ever felt is not pain, but rather impending doom. That must be one of my biggest nightmares. Yes.
kind of dread that will have you hysterically screaming that you are about to die.
I am gonna
Well,
die! I'm gonna die! I'm gonna
Obviously.
die!
That's because the invisible cunt here does psychic damage, inflicting a condition known as Irukandji syndrome,
Ooh.
which starts with a feeling of impending doom so strong there are records of people asking to be, avoiding a ban here, forcibly disconnected from God's Minecraft server.
Whoa, that is insane. Definitely one of the worst feelings ever, to be
And that
honest.
feeling of doom is warranted because about 30 minutes after being stung, that biological bomb goes off,
Okay.
with the venom initially causing extreme pain throughout your entire body.
God.
And after making you feel like a failed isekai protagonist, the venom then spikes your blood pressure and heart rate through the roof, which can cause heart
Whoa.
attacks, blood clots, and has even been recorded to cause brain hemorrhages.
Just for a freaking small jellyfish, that's all it's gonna do. This is why I am afraid of jellyfish, is because when we went to this specific beach, I went with my friends on this specific beach, and the number one thing that the tour guide said was, hey, be careful of the jellyfish once you get down from the boat, because they can K-word you, or you can feel like it's the worst pain in your life ever. So I was like, guys, we need to get out of this beach. Because they said that this jellyfish just randomly pop up and they can't really see it because the color is quite a clear type of color. So they were like, if you see one, or if you see a jellyfish quite close to you, run for your lives and call us, because we will try to scare it away or something. Yeah, not helpful at all, tour guide. Not helpful at all.
And the f***ed up part is, it doesn't have an anti-venom. This thing sneak attacks you, waits 30 minutes, sends you a private DM telling you it got your ass, and there is not a f***ing thing you can do about it.
Yep.
Toxic little
Congratulations.
This pigeon saved an entire army battalion.
Heroes never die.
Introducing our protagonist, Jeremy, a carrier
What? What's the name? Jeremy. Where did that name even come
A
from?
carrier pigeon who was in the employ of the US Army Signal Corps during World War One. You see, back in the oldie times, radio technology was kind of dog shit. So carrier pigeons were still the meta for
Well-
DMing the homies memes over distance. Which is
Okay.
how, in 1918, our feathered little shock trooper here ended up in France. With 500 US
Okay.
soldiers stuck 3 kilometers behind enemy lines, completely cut off from supply and reinforcement in a 7-day shootout. You see, Jeremy's battalion, juiced up on freedom and red crayons, had overextended and become trapped, surrounded on all sides by German soldiers. And to
Wanna
make
be
matters
saved
worse,
by the
being
burb.
stuck behind enemy lines meant they were now on the receiving end of US defense spending, being absolutely hammered with friendly artillery. Now, stuck as far away as they would have had more luck using their radio as fucking nunchucks than a comms device. So they began sending out carrier pigeons in an attempt to tell command to stop fucking shelling them and help on the point. However, the Germans were
Okay,
having none of that
that's
shit and shot
quite-
every single
That's quite reasonable action, I guess.
carrier pigeon the battalion sent out of the air like they were running an AIM Labs warm-up. Till only one remained, Jeremy. Desperate and rapidly running out of soldiers, the battalion wrote a message and attached it to Jeremy, sending him into the air and watching him
Saved
sail
by the
above the
burb.
troops. And just when they thought he was clear, some f***ing sweat on the German side nailed him. The battalion watched in horror as their last hope spiraled out of the
Ooh.
sky. The
Well, it's kind of a bad feeling to lose your only hope on a random bird to share a me.
bullet tore straight through Jeremy's center of mass, destroying
Oh,
one
no.
eye, punching a hole through his chest, and blowing off one
Is he
of
still
his
alive?
legs. And this giga chad of an animal tanked it.
Do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache.
The Marines watched in awe as this mangled pigeon picked itself out of the mud and managed to fly clear of German fire. Jeremy
Whoa.
made it the whole way back to base, delivering the message and saving a total of 194 soldiers. Not only did he get the job done, but he f***ing lived. He was granted one of the highest military honors the French army could provide and sent into retirement with his trainer. And when he eventually did pass several years later, he was preserved and placed in the Smithsonian, where you can go see him today.
Oh.
There he is. Absolute
Oh, W to share a me. I feel odd. I feel odd saying its name. It feels kind of weird. I don't know where that name came from, but that's kind of a weird name. I don't know.
Scientists just de-extincted a 12,000-year-old dog. Well,
Dog?
kinda. You see, a bioengineering company called
I think it's kind of funny when I think I've seen like information before, like, this is a descendant of the biggest dinosaur, blah 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 blah, and then it turns out it's like a tiny little turtle or something. Like,
Scientists just de-extincted a 12,000-year-old dog.
a 12,000-year-old dog. I bet it's gonna be a tiny, cute dog. Hopefully.
Well, kinda. You see, a bioengineering company called Colossal has dedicated itself to doing what every single Jurassic Park film has told us is a bad idea. Bringing back extinct
Well-
species. And recently, they made a breakthrough. They have managed to bring back the 12,000-year-old direwolf. You know those big-ass puppies from Game of Thrones that the
Cute.
Starks had?
Oh. Wait, I think I've seen this before on the news, on Twitter. Yeah, I think I've seen these news before.
Yeah, those were actually a
Wait, am I
real-life
right?
animal alive during the late Ice Age. And the best way I can describe them to you is basically a wolf on steroids. These things were bigger, faster, and stronger, estimated to have the highest bite force out of any canine. And in a move that I'm sure has no implications, they have managed to bring these bad boys back to life.
Oh yeah, I've seen this one. They are so cute. Apex Predator, by the way. They're so cute. They look like pets, to be honest.
These two little guys are now 6 months old and have been living on a private plot of land with 24/7 veterinary care. However, they've only just been shown off to the public, with the company going so far as to get a photo up with George R.R. Martin holding one of these.
So cute. Yeah, I've seen this picture before. I think on the news or on Twitter. He's so cute.
Adorable little killing machines. Showing that man will literally interact with an extinct species before he finishes that last
I can let them
book.
bite me,
There
to
is,
be
however,
fair.
one
It's because they're
small
cute.
problem. This isn't technically a direwolf. You see, by merit of them being extinct, short of specking into necromancy, you can't exactly bring them back. Which is where this guy comes in. You see, the grey wolf shares 99.5% of its genetic code with the dire wolf. So, using CRISPR gene editing, they basically toss the grey wolf back into the spore creature creator, then using the code found in dire wolf fossils as a build guide, juiced the out of it, boosting the size slider and putting some extra points into strength, as well as adjusting its head
Damn, they made this like the scientists made that wolf like a damn Sims or
shape
something.
and teeth. All in all, they made a total of 20 edits to 14 genes, producing
How
the
they do
closest thing
that?
we can get to a dire wolf short of time travel, which is cool as f.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's also kind of shocking how advanced science can get.
5 years before a man-made horror beyond comprehension breaks out of that f***ing lab, and we are all playing Resident Evil.
Go to pop.
This bear was actually a soldier. But
Oh, wait,
you
is
see,
that
it was
real?
1942, and the 20
Wait, was that photo real? Oh, wait. It says here, this is a real image.
soldier. But how? You see, it was 1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery Company were passing through the mountains of Iran on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced a burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered.
Yeah, this just became a Bambi story, or like, yeah, the usual. I took care of this animal and now it's my bestie and
As
everything.
a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad law, said,
Damn good deal.
and in the most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him
What's his
Wojtek.
name?
And the 20
What? What?
Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the
Wojtek?
22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier.
Maggots!
As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed a soldier as his caretaker, who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest.
Oh my god, is this real? It's gonna work out for them? The bear is actually gonna be a soldier. It's gonna be real?
Teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even
Aw.
march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day, and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle you?
Well, that is
On
true.
top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They
Okay. They made him look like my uncle
let
then.
the bear
That's my
have
uncle.
smoko. Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely none of it. You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which
Not
meant
allowed,
Wojtek
yeah.
had to go. Or did
Oh.
he? Because the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
That
I'm doing my
picture
part.
is true.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted
So
the rank of private.
cute.
So when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek." And Wojtek took his new role
So
very
cute.
seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had a fucking resupply bear. For his bravery, he was promoted to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their
Whoa.
insignia to a bear carrying an artillery shell.
To be fair, a better soldier.
This absolute unit
Always choose the bear. Always choose the bear, you guys.
smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.